Okay guys, so let's create our objects or cars. And over here I'm using the Python idle editor, and you can use it too, and it makes running your Python programs very easy. I have already put in all the details for that in my previous lectures, so you can refer to that. So let's get started guys. So firstly, I would like to define the car class over here, and it's a good practice always that you put in the comments first, because it helps making the code readable as well as understandable to others. So in this program we are going to define the car class first, which is nothing but the blueprint. Finally we are going to define the car objects that we create out of this car class, and then we are going to print the instance attributes of the car objects, and finally we are going to print the class attributes of the car objects guys. So let's get started first. So to define a class, we have this class keyword followed by the followed by the class name here, and then we actually have to first define the class attribute, which in our case is engine. Okay, and all our cars run Volkswagen engine guys. Now we need to define the init method, which is just like a constructor or something which builds the objects from this class. And we know that it is defined by the init method, so two underscores over here. And then inside that we have a self variable, which is nothing but just like if you have heard in Java, there is a this keyword. So self actually identifies a specific instance, okay, and it's also an instance variable of a class. Now after self we have the three properties of our car objects, which are make, model, and fuel, followed by the colon, and then we just assign these values to a specific instance. So we just do self dot make is equal to make, self dot model is equal to model, and finally self dot fuel is equal to fuel guys. So our car class is ready, okay, and now we are ready to define our car objects. So we learned that in our previous lectures that it is pretty easy, so I'm going to define two car objects here. So car1 is equals to the class name, and inside it I can pass the specific properties for the make. So our first car has a make of Mahindra. So Mahindra is a very famous car maker in India, guys, just for your information. And it has a model 2008, so it's a pretty old car, guys. And since Mahindra makes big cars generally, so it will use a diesel engine in this case. Now let's define our car 2, which is much newer car and much more elegant. So our second car is of type Audi, guys. So everyone loves Audi, right? And it's a pretty much new model, so it's of 2019 model. And let's say that our second car or Audi also uses a diesel engine, guys. Okay, now we are done with defining the car objects as well. So at this point of time I would like to now print the individual attributes of the car objects. So I can first print the make of car1, so I can just do print the make of car1, and we learned that we can access the properties by just doing car1 dot make, guys. That's all you have to do. Similarly, for printing the model of car1, you can just do the model of car1 followed by a comma, and you say car1 dot model. That's how you access the second property. And finally you can print the fuel of car 1 is of car1 dot fuel, guys. Okay, so here we defined the properties printing out the instance attributes for car objects, guys, and it is of for type car1. Okay, now let's do the same thing for printing the properties for car2. So I can say the make of car2 is, and here you do, instead of car1 you will do car2 dot make, guys. Similarly, print the make of car, not the make, guys, it's of model. The model of car2 is car2 dot model, and finally we type the fuel for it. So we say the fuel of car2 is car2 dot fuel, guys. So many typos today. So this is how you print the instance attributes of these two objects. And finally, we are going to print the class attributes, and we can do like print the engine for car1 is, and we just do car1 dot engine, and for car2 we can print it as well. So we can say the engine for car2 is car2 dot engine, guys. And over here I've missed car1 here, so I can put car1 here. Okay, guys, so I think we are done now, and we are ready to run this program here. So let me first save the file as car demo, and then let's run and see it in action, guys. So I just do go to run and say run module, and wow, so it says it's a name error. So let's check what is the name error. So okay, over here, and for some reason this is okay. So for the time being I can just comment it because somehow my delete button is not working, guys, so I have to print it again. So I can just say print the fuel of car2 is, and I just do car2. So there was a caps lock in C. So car2 dot fuel. So that's why it was complaining. And if I do the run module again, guys, so over here you should see the output. Okay, so you see that the make of car1 is Mahindra, the model of car1 is 2008, and it is the fuel of car1 is diesel. And similarly we have the details for our Audi car as well, and these are the instance attributes because they are generally different, not necessarily but generally different for the objects that you create out of a class. And finally we have the engine variables over here, which is Volkswagen for both the instances or both the objects car1 and car2, because class attributes we learnt are shared across objects, guys. So I hope this example makes it clear for you. I recommend that you try the assignment which is at the end of this lecture, which will make the things more clear for you. Thank you, guys.